Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello, this is Roland Dupre with East Hartford Public Library. I'm with Albert Ruggiero, who has put together an anthology of his late wife's writings, Carol Ruggiero. And you're going to talk about this, right, Albert?
Thank you so very much. It's a great privilege to be here. Very quickly, I want to get into how this whole thing started, because it is quite a story in itself. And that is this. One day it was actually 3 days after Carol's funeral, and she passed in 2020, on March 20th. And I was at the table and I got a call from an old friend, and we're talking. And I said, I'm at the table here, we're looking at all these writings. I guess I'm going to donate them to the senior center. And she said, no, you got to do something with that. I thought about it. That Monday, I went back to the table, went back to my basket of writings, and I put this together. And we'll get into the title in a moment. And I brought this to Tycho. They're just wonderful. And a lot of this is in her own handwriting. Trying to find the page right now. And everything is as it was. There you go. Everything is as it was. So this is the complete edition, I might say. And then I took it a step farther and I had it published. And the copy is what Rolanda's looking at now. And just a word about the genesis of the title. For 3 days and 3 nights, I looked, I thought, I went to bed dreaming about it. So the titles are very important. So I finally in the morning, 3 days later, I put her pearls on the table and took a picture, and that's it. And I just love the look of it. It's all in blue, which was her color. And there you go. Since then, and we're going to get into the writings, of course, but since then, I've been on a real odyssey. And one thing developed from another. We're going to show you the website in a moment, which is carolruggiero.com. And as I said, I've been on a journey. It was published, wonderful articles published. This is the Milford magazine. A couple of summers ago, I've been interviewed by Channel 8 and Channel 12 News, and that's on the website. And I started going to Barnes and Nobles, and I'm not going to get into that because it's a lot, but it's available in Barnes and Nobles, but you have to order it. So I was thinking about that, and I called 250 Barnes and Nobles from Alaska to Hawaii, and they brought it in. And that was quite a journey. And then, enough with that, I took it to libraries. And so the book is now in 172 libraries, including your hometown library, wherever you are. That's in 3 in Massachusetts, 3 in New York, 3 in New Jersey, and 7 in Rhode Island. So that was another part of the journey. And now I'm at another part of the journey, which is doing videos and things and making presentations. I've been to over 60 places doing a 1-hour video PowerPoint presentation, and it's a lot of fun. I can't tell you it's a lot of fun. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Carmel, New York. I'm be in Wilmington on Saturday. On and on and on and on. And afterwards, I play the saxophone. We have what I call a saxa sing-along. So that's about me. The rest of this interview, hopefully, will be about Carol. And there you go.
And you have put together some very funny pieces in here. She had a great sense of humor, didn't
Absolutely, absolutely, which is why we got along so well. We saw the humor in everything. Even if I didn't, she did. If she didn't, I did. But yes, her style is very funny, very humorous, always with a zinger, always with an N. She loved O. Henry and copied him, I think, in her mind. And the last section of the book, I just might as well show them this. I divided the book into 4 chapters. Yeah. And the only serious one is what I'm going to read after in a few moments, and that's an emotional tea party. But the rest are all funny, and some are laugh out loud funny.
All right, so we're going to go to a Facebook page that has Carol reading. And let me just clarify here this. And I think I can make it.
Rattling 2 pebbles in a tin cup. People lowered heads and rushed by. Get a job, one man snarled. Disgraceful, said the lady walking her dog. Tom O'Malley, the cop on the beat, felt sorry for Barney, but used his authority. Move on, Barney, or I'll have to run you in. Barney pleaded, I wish, just this one time, you would look the other way. Officer O'Malley placed his hand on Barney's shoulder and said, I'm sorry, I know times are tough, but they are for me too. The baby needs shoes and the rent is overdue. A cop doesn't make enough to make ends meet these days. He wondered why he was telling Barney his problems. He knew Barney had enough of his own. He reached into his uniform pocket and placed a $1 bill in Barney's cup. Barney dragged his oversized shoes down the street. He entered the express store and read the sign, sandwiches, $3. The next sign read, lottery tickets, $1. The next morning, Barney sat on a bench next to a man reading the newspaper. The man left the paper when his bus arrived. Barney turned to page 2 and read his lottery numbers. Make the check out to Officer Tom O'Malley, he told the lottery agent. Barney the beggar stood on a busy street corner, rattling 2 pebbles in a tin cup. Officer O'Malley was not on his beat.
Pearls from Carol, there you go. And you can see the picture of the pearls.
Right, and that, as I said earlier, was just an inspiration idea, and it's a great website. I encourage everyone to look at it, and spread the word about it. And we're not going to have time to go into all of this, of course, but you see excerpts. There's a few interesting stories there, and if you go to media, just briefly and scroll down, you'll see some of the places that I've taken this to. And as I said, there are a lot, and we're not going to go through them all, but I've met some wonderful people and been in places I never would have been in. And I'm very grateful for that. And it continues. And I offer to do this for anyone, any organization, free of charge. That's New Canaan. And in the website, it says contact us. There's my email in there. And if it's at all possible, I'll be there and put on a dog and pony show for anyone who wants it, because it's all about spreading the writing of Carol and having a great time with the folks.
Well, and she is so entertaining. I have
Yeah.
to.
It's easy material to work with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm going to begin with the only serious thing she ever wrote that I know of. There are things that hinted at seriousness, but this is really something. And it's one thing that was kept separate from the other chapters, because that's the way I just decided to do it. The emotional tea party is the first thing. And so stand by, here we go. And this has been read by many, many people throughout the country, very different walks of life. I used to use it in an AP psychology class. But moving along, you judge for yourself. They have been with me throughout my life, never invited, always controlling, and mightier than myself. This is the first time I will see them together. I will be able to observe their interactions. Some have never seen each other. Others go hand in hand, visiting me when they please, and leaving only when they decide the visit is over. And me knowing, always knowing, they will visit again. The tea table is lavishly set with silver tea service, china cups, lacy linens, fragrant flowers, trays of sprinkled cookies and little cakes with pastel icing. I've changed the seating arrangement several times. The only placard not moved is my own. At the head of the table, I will pour and try to be polite to those I wish we're not there. Who will be the first to arrive, I wonder? My question is quickly answered as I see greed coming up the garden path. Of course, who else? She must always be first. She doesn't frighten me at all. She's the one who visits me the least, and I'm grateful for that. Behind her comes confusion, not knowing which way to go, but always wanting to do the right thing. I watch as she trips and falls along the path. Next come the twins dressed in their bright green outfits, accenting their glazing green eyes. Yes, they are jealousy and envy. They look so much alike, and yet there was a slight difference in their appearance. They will watch the others closely and never find satisfaction in who they are or what they have, only and always wanting what is not theirs to have. Love. Love comes unexpectedly next. Her starry eyes, moist with tears, will be seated between happiness and sadness. She is much stronger than most of the guests, but at the same time, very tender and easily hurt. Hate is next, dragging rage and anger chained to her scarlet garment. She comes when outrageous injustice has been done. She comes when demons laugh and get their way and leave me beaten. Excuse me, isn't that terrible? I meant to shut that off. Leave me beaten, hopeless and in despair. Many, many others fill the chairs among this enormous tea table. Only two are empty now. One to my immediate right, as close to me as possible, the other the farthest away, as I dread her coming. She is grief. She is the strongest of all. I watch her now coming up the path, dragging her crippled legs, pulling her deformed body inch by inch, as I feel fear reaching out for me. Her party dress is gray, her complexion is ashen, as she looks at me with yellowish eyes and remembers the sounds of wretched wailing and weeping. She rejoices as she tries to take my mind, my body, my inner soul. Stay away, grief. Drink your tea, eat your cake, and go. The last guest, dressed in brilliant white, is my intimate friend. Her name is Peace. She's the most beautiful. She pops in and out of my life. She's the one I need the most. She and only she is the one I want with me through eternity. She's the only one I embrace and beg to stay with me long after this emotional tea party has ended. There you
That-
go, shutting this thing off.
That's so beautiful.
It
It's-
is, it never fails to impress me. And as I said, I have a lot of different people who have read that through the years and gotten back to me.
Yeah, it is a great piece. Would you like me to read one,
Yeah, that'd be swell.
just to give you a break?
Sure, absolutely.
This is page 23, right? I guess she was part of a writers group, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
she belonged to something called Writers Anonymous. And our friend Dorothy, and I brought this because we don't have I just want to show Dorothy's picture. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, her friend Dorothy begged her to come in. They were best of friends, and I was best of friends with her husband, Jim. Wonderful people. And she went and she stayed for 20 years.
Wow.
And she was like the star there, which I'm sure she
Yeah.
liked.
So this is the assignment was to write a letter to your 10-year-old self.
And by the way, mention, would you, the card note on top? The card that she picked?
Oh, yes, January 12th, 7 of diamonds, 5 a.m. Is that when she wrote it at?
That's when she wrote it, but she would pull the card every time. I didn't even notice it. I have no idea what it means.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
she would it would be kind of a ritual, just pulling
Yes,
the card
yes,
whenever she wrote it.
yes, or prompts.
Okay, here's her letter to her 10-year-old self. Dear Carol, happy 10th birthday. It's hard to believe you will be going into the 5th grade. The red boots and matching umbrella were one of your favorite birthday gifts, and because I know you so well, I know you will not want to get them wet. When it rains, you will close the umbrella and keep it under your coat. The pristine boots will also stay dry as you walk home barefooted. Everything must be perfect for you, and I know you will not change. You will plan every step of your life, and anxiety will make you move too fast. I must admit you are a responsible child, and that will continue, but unfortunately, your perfect plans will crumble. The world is not a perfect place, and you will be all too soon realize this. Listen carefully to Mrs. K, your new 5th grade teacher, as she has had her class recite, "The Lord is my shepherd," every day. The 23rd Psalm will make you understand that there is a perfect place. Slow down, Carol. Enjoy your unperfect life on earth. And please, little 10-year-old, stay with me always. You are so much fun. With love from your adult self, always, Carol.
I love it. Thank you very much. You know, we're just trying to cherry pick bits and pieces for our time together. And I'm going to turn now to page 39, Old Enough, because there's so much humor in it. And well, you've answered for yourself. Old enough. My bedtime curfew was extended at the age of 10. At last, I was allowed to watch Ralph Edwards host a TV program called This Is Your Life, sponsored by the Hazel Bishop Lipstick Company. I didn't recognize many of the guests and waited patiently for the commercials. A model with long blonde hair and ruby lips held a jeweled lipstick case as the invisible audience oohed and awed. I desperately wanted that lipstick. I tried to get up enough courage as I looked toward my mother. The effort was wasted as the clairvoyant answered me my unasked questions. I'm sorry, you're not old enough. I resented needing consent. The answer was always, I'm sorry, you're not old enough. But this thing called aging process was taking forever. As I listened to, I'm sorry you cannot drive till you're 16. I'm sorry you cannot vote until you're 18. I'm sorry you cannot marry without parental consent until you are 21. Time passes at a faster rate when one becomes the consenter. Too soon, the automatic doors at the senior center where I found myself applying for membership opened. I filled out the form only to hoping to hear, I'm sorry, you're not old enough. Instead, the obliging bookkeeper handed me my official Joy of Aging card and smiled and said, that's a lovely shade of lipstick you're wearing. I fumbled through my purse, pulled out the jewel case and beamed, it's Hazel Bishop and I'm old enough.
Finally.
How she tied all those things together is a mark of an excellent writer. She, you know, one theme, it kept going.
I know.
Anyway,
Another
there's-
one, another one. Do another one.
yes. Okay, we're going to turn to page 61. Another one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, and that is called The Pink Scarf. The Pink Scarf. During the 1950s, rock and roll music filled the lives of most teenagers. I was no exception. Summers were spent at Pleasure Beach Amusement Park, where rock and roll celebrities entertained. I remember the night the Everly Brothers harmonized, opening the show for Chuck Berry, who had a new song hit called Carol. He came on the stage with his guitar, struck a chord, and shouted to the audience, where you at, Carol? Where you at? Carol was a common name in the 50s, and of course there was always a Carol in the audience. I'm here, I squealed with delight. I was escorted to the stage and stood with Chuck Berry as he dog walked around me and sang Carol. Around my neck, I wore a pink scarf. It was a style for teenage girls to wear pastel-colored neckerchiefs, like Olivia Newton-John and Stockard Channing in the musical Grease. And let's not forget Natalie Wood in Rebel Without a Cause. Her co-star James Dean was my heartthrob. I must remind you, this was 60 years before Kevin Costner. In the movie, Jimmy wore his red jacket, but it was Natalie who wore the pink scarf. When Chuck Berry finished singing, he gave my scarf a little tug and thanked me for joining him on stage. When I got home that night, I tucked the scarf away and kept its precious memories. There will never be another Chuck Berry or another pink scarf. And here's the pink scarf.
You have the actual pink scarf.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
From the 1950s when she's
57, 1957.
wow.
That's what they wore, folks. And some of you, I'm sure, will remember that. Isn't that great?
That is fantastic. Here, there's one goodbye, Sandra D. Can I do that one?
Oh, please.
That's another story of the 50s, I think, right?
Yes.
As a teenager in the 1950s, getting ready for a date was an ordeal. It meant getting out the umbrellas, Not that I feared rain. In fact, I would never carry an umbrella on a date. It just wouldn't be cool. Instead, I used the umbrellas to shape my horsehair crinolines. Using a long wooden spoon, I stirred sugar into the hot water and soaked the crinolines in this mixture. Then I laid them over an open umbrella. As they dried, the sugar stiffened the fabric. Getting dressed, I slipped a full circular skirt over the stiff crinolines. I tied my hair into a ponytail with a sheer pink scarf. There's the pink scarf again.
Yep.
And giggled, well, look at me. I'm Sandra D. I no longer date. Well, my date would be pleased. The years passed as did Sandra D. I no longer date because my husband may not approve. Today, when I tie my hair into a ponytail, I frown and say, well, look at me. I'm Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah. And every story has that humor in it. Every story, virtually.
Yeah. Oh, some of them are like, they remind me of Irma Bombeck. Do you remember Irma Bombeck?
Of course, of course.
Oh, just so funny. These little just insights into the simple little daily things. And they're so
That's why it's for everybody. It's the kind of book that just about everybody, any age can appreciate. And it's the kind of book that you don't have to read from cover to cover. You put down next day a few things more. I do want to do this one, a comedy of errors. I was looking at page 158, true story, a comedy of errors. So this is how she took an actual incident and had fun with it. Park in the fire zone and keep the motor running, I said to my husband. I'll only be in the store for a minute, so don't move. I'll be right out. Of course, he never listens to me, and why I thought that day would be any different was beyond me. When I rushed out of the store and hopped back into the car, I noticed crumpled papers and coffee cups on the floor in the front seat. I raised my voice and nagged, why is this car such a mess? It's not like you. Please clean it up right now. It was then that I looked over at the stranger sitting behind the steering wheel with his mouth hung open. Oh, excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry. I got in the wrong car. I fumbled with the door handle and struggled to get out. It was about this time his wife came out of the store and ran toward me, shaking her fist and calling me some pretty low down names. I tried to reason with the enraged woman. No, wait, it's not what you think. I got in the wrong car. She refused to listen. It was now directing her fist at her innocent husband. Thanks to me, this poor guy was having a really bad day. As for my husband, witnessing the entire comedy and laughing uncontrollably, well, let's say he was about to have a bad day. I remember like yesterday, I was watching her get in and I'm saying, this is great. What's going to happen now? And I was just crazy laughing. True story. And there you go. I don't know how our time is. You want to get to the poems or
yeah, let's do a poem.
okay. Again, all the poems were written to turn a topic on its head. And this is on page 307. It's called Why I'm Late. And where this came from, I don't know. She didn't think too much of it, but I put it on the website. I can't believe it. There was an elephant in my driveway and I couldn't back out the car. When I looked at my side view mirror, it warned, elephants appear closer than they are. I backed out nice and easy, hoping the elephant had shrunk. We were now at a standoff, facing trunk to trunk. With the beast, I tried to reason, telling him I would be late if he didn't move his tail and all the rest of his weight. He thought this quite funny, threw his head back, tossed to the sky. It was then we made a deal, the elephant and I. If you could just inhale and get a little thinner, when I get home tonight, I'll have you in for dinner. He flapped his ears from side to side, agreeing he would wait. There was an elephant in my driveway, and that's why I'm late. Who could think of that? I don't know.
That's so beautiful. Now, there's another poem I enjoy about, well, I don't know if I should read this poem. I love on 338.
Yes. Little burrows.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, of course, 338.
Okay. Little gray burros, timid and shy, Jacks and Jennies with dark lashed eyes, at a County fair, I read a sign, 1 burro for sale. He could be mine. With long ears, he listened as I told him the plan. He'd live in my backyard. I'd name him Dan. I with a shovel, the burro just played. He chewed on the house, he hawed and brayed. An angry neighbor called to say, "Get rid of that donkey now, today." He knocked down the fence and ate all my grass. I love my burro, but he's a pain in the ass. Oh man, these are so cool.
On and on and on.
And they're just there's so many. It's
Yeah.
and
It's over 300.
yeah, and you organize them very well.
Well, I thank you for that. That, you know, it came very easy because everything she ever went to the meetings with, she read to me before. So it's all up there.
Yeah.
Some I pay more attention than others, but it's all up there. And she would ask me my opinion, but she'd never take it. Which is good. Which is good. I
Anything?
don't know. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah,
Oh,
which one?
Okay, then we'll end with this one. Because it's a little long, not too long. And it's on page 340. It's called Mama Put a 5 Inside My Mitten. And
Oh.
again, a true story, which you can figure out right away. So here we go. Mama put a 5 inside my mitten on a cold and snowy night so long ago. Dad is running late tonight and I must tend the stew. If we're to have a Christmas tree, I need to count on you. Go down the hill and take 2 rights. You'll see the man with the Christmas lights strung along all the trees. Get the best of 5 will bring. Don't let him sell you some skimpy thing. Not too big, not too small. Be sure the top is nice and tall so we can place our shiny star. I took my sled, I took some rope. My young heart was full of hope that I would buy the perfect tree for my mama, dad, and me. The 5 inside my mitten seemed to cut into my hand as I pulled the empty sled across the snowy land. I saw the lights, I saw the trees, and then I saw the man. Thick woolen cap, a heavy coat, a ragged glove on just one hand. Business not so good this year, he bellowed to another. The fear inside me rose, but then I thought of mother. Pick the best of 5 will bring. Don't let him sell you some skimpy thing. The smell of spruce, the smell of pine made me want them all. Just then I saw a perfect tree, not too tall, not too short. I squeezed the 5 and then I knew I must be thrifty. How much is this one? I asked the man. 'Twas then he growled, $6.50. I looked at his dark beard with the snow upon it as he yelled, well, do you want it? Too much, said I, for such a tree. It's not that nice, I lied. I'll take 6 and not a penny less. That was when he sighed. I have a 5 inside my mitten. My mama put it there. I think this tree is worth no more. I hope you will be fair. Take this nice one. He grabbed the tree as his yellow needles fell. Now his turn to lie, but really I could tell. I slipped a warm 5 from my mitten. Give me the 5, he snarled. Take the tree. He reached for his box on the shelf, stuck in the 5 and said to me, tie it on yourself. So home I trudged with my fine tree. Mama would be so proud of me. And that she was, as Dad came through the door. Where did you get such a perfect tree? He looked at her. She smiled at me. I'll tell you, Dad, of the night I've had. I stood there, oh so smitten. It all began tonight, dear Dad, where Mama put a 5 inside my mitten.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Albert,
Yes,
your sax playing, you play a lot, don't you? You play,
yes.
and
I'm in 3 bands.
wow, and Carol liked your playing.
Oh,
Did she
yeah.
like your playing?
Oh, yeah.
So can you play some for us so that we will send you out with a song?
All right. This- I just picked stuff that I think the folks might like, you know.
Yeah, you do these sing-alongs.
Yeah,
You-
oh, yeah. After presentations, if they want it, if they agree, I pass out sheet music and we do sing-alongs.
Mm.
And I was at Trumbull yesterday and it could have been there all day. They just went on and on. So here we go. Let's see. I'll do a couple little, blend them together. Ah.
Beautiful.